Ladies and gentlemen, I heard something. The thing I heard is not pleasant. I heard something, ladies and gentlemen. I heard something, and ladies and gentlemen, I heard something, and what I heard, ladies and gentlemen, it is not it's not something easy to alter. So as you join the platform, ladies and gentlemen, please share the show, share the link, so we can remember a great son of Liberia, a great son of Sinoe County that has fallen. Please share the link for me, so we can remember the great son. But I heard something. I want to play that song again because I think you may have heard it as well, but yeah, I will share with you. There are a lot of things that are going on right now. That something I heard that I want to share with you. So share the link for me, please.
I won't tell you later, but Martin, I won't tell you later, but Martin, I won't. I hear something, 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 I hear something. Destiny, they can't stop my destiny. 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 So my hoping for me. So my hoping for me. Let's hoping for you. So my hoping for me. They don't want me play. you get galley, but you let potato. I hear something, 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 I hear something. I won't tell you later, but my thing I want it. I won't tell you later, but my thing I want it. I hear something, 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 I hear something. You get galley, but you let potato. 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 They don't want me play a role. Your place boss, respect wis. Your place boss, your respect wis. Your place boss, your respect wis. Your place boss, your respect wis. I hear something, 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 I hear something. I won't tell you later, but my thing I want it. I won't tell you later, but my thing I want it. I hear something, 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 I hear something.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Voice of Sinoe. Before you see my face, I just want to play another music here, traditional music that measured the name of the fallen hero.
National President, the other support association in America, and some of them are Aule, no Sakita, Marugo, Wincheta, how would you do your Baba, or your Yama? Other than the Moro,
Sudan para Kenya Puao. Cow, Dano, I'm going to pass on with you. About generator, you. About Muraba, you. About Kayo. About Cobello, then you want to then you want this and you want not. None one can walk, then no one can you. After what? Brother, Raya, answer for Ayoda, Janus Ayo. And you Bupurao. And you have Bupurao. Color, you know, Jared Doble. Not the you have no one who you Bupuria. Double way about Mumba. Apway yo. Apway yo. So you are not you. About Chiango, Apway yo. Hey, Manda yo. Amanda yo. Adiano yo. And I can't hear you. I'm up for it. Yamabore. I'm up for it. And I'm going yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Samuel. Rather be now. Rather be now. Bow. Jamal. Rather be now. Bow. Had you winning? I never said what it is. Apway yo. And I'm about ready. I said, where's the I said, where? Daniel, you done by a getting up. I'm my row, you're player. You're not Chiagiro. You Chiagiro, my you Chiagiro. No, God, you Chiagiro. Not man, so we have more. Chiagiro, Jamarayo, the Apocalican, Nanatule, Unababule, Jowario, Jowai, just an alcohol, I'm a blabby, do a now, okay. Yeah, no, I got it to read. As ever, oh, the wise I know, Mao, you are the Musio. Hayao, now you are the Musio, I'm as you are that. Is that who about your way? What about your way? I know the way. Your way. 2 days, then I think. Ya no more. No babule. Salabayo. Seruno, Sinobio. Ajao. So you bless and no son. Oh, she's allowed to do. How, Previtalula Dario. How, I don't know, Planio, Flanny, Chile. I said, for that, they are telling. I like to say it here. Applied it. I like you. You better. I said, I don't know. She's a Yawa. So, what do you want? Money can what you want, and you got no pepper. Gian Jabo, one Jabulio. Moko Basia, Moko Badio Playo. And your promo.
Awuruwao. Na Awuruwao. Those that cannot understand me right now, give me a second, please. Let me speak my original language a little bit to my people. Now, I believe you, I will wow. The body, I believe you. The body, I believe, as a dead you. But, come on, no man, I SCA, I'm batching, ne amu, nyora, ne amu, blue was sao, on a new. But, I mean, there are any mean injury, and tie has answered you, can you hear sa belly, instead you would like, but you swallow con, no, no swallow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Voice of Sinoe in the Diaspora. This is one of the editions of the show that is quite difficult for me. It's a very difficult show. The honorable man that just passed away, he is not just an ordinary person. He's a statesman. He is he is my family member. And so this is one of the difficult coverages that I would do on this platform. In every society, in every home, every organization, you have people that everyone looks up to. So it's the case with Mr. Mobutu Nyenpan. Mr. Nyenpan was a great man. He was a leader of the people of Liberia, the people of Sinoe County, and the people of the Sapo land. And so this is that's what I call tragedy in the land. And so we're gonna reflect. If you want to participate on the show today, you are not going to hear from just me. I don't think you'll be fine. If you want to reflect on the legacy of this fallen hero, you will have the opportunity to call the show and say one or two words, something that you know of him, so that we can share the memories of this great man. So, tragedy in the land, Liberia mourns the loss of a great son. Again, I'm confused. It's a struggle tonight for me with respect to how I should begin the show, or the exact wording to employ for the show. But it's difficult for me. So I will do my best. Anyhow, I will do my best. All right. So yesterday we got this sad news, and it has broken the hearts of many across Liberia and out of Liberia, because of the loss that we currently have. So Mobutu Nyenpan, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know all about him, but the little that I know, I'm going to share with you. So that's what the show is about tonight. All of us want to share ideas. Yeah, but before we go into the legacy of this great man, I'd like to share unconfirmed report or information of coming to the speculation room of Voice of Sinoe in the diaspora with Paulia Accra and the Esoteric. My co-host is not with me tonight. Yeah, but unconfirmed report coming to us says that I think it's the security head at the Minister of Public Works, Mr. Paulson Gate. We were told, unconfirmed again, that the government they are trying to send security personnel to arrest him. There's an incident that went on yesterday at the residence of the late Mobutu Nyenpan. I think some government officials, they were trying to go in, and he stopped those people. And so as a result, and those guys, they were top-notch security persons. And so they want to send, that's the unconfirmed report we are getting. They're trying to arrest him for stopping people from coming to sympathize with the family members. And those guys, they are not regular people. All right, so before we go to the reflection, we are remembering, we are mourning this man, the great man. So I like to play some audios, or if you like, some videos, and so that you can know the weight of this guy, this great man that we lost, former Senator of Sinoe County and Minister of Public Works, Republic of Liberia. And so I'll play some short videos for us, or audio. I'll do some audios as well, and so that we can listen to this great man, highly educated Liberian. Let me see. I have some video clips here that I want to share with you.
Yes, it is completed, consistent with the designs, consistent with the specifications, and it has the best standards. But passing judgment during construction period, firstly, is premature, and indicates that our people, that those who are making these comments, do not understand, what it entails. Yes, I'll be the first to admit that we've had issues with poor design standards.
Right.
This is an issue that we have decided to address, and that we are addressing through ensuring that we have effective supervision of these projects in construction.
Will you keep those components out when you realize that?
Since we've come in, we have not had a situation with a road being declared completed, final certification issued,
right,
and
not meeting the standards.
We haven't had that situation. But I'm speaking, in terms of what we've seen holistically before this administration, and what we are trying to do, what we are efforting to do, it's not to fault what happened before,
right,
but it's to use that experience to improve on it and make sure that we don't have a repeat of this kind of situation. That we have what we call value for money. That whatever we put in there is what we
the taxpayers can get that money.
So as I was saying about the major rules.
Mr. Minister, our fiscal envelope is tight. Our revenue envelope is small. The government has had tremendous economic challenges. And I want to know who is behind this road construction. What are the roads our international partners are funding? What are the roads the government is funding? Where are we moving with that?
And when it comes to road funding of road projects, there is a synergy between the government of Liberia and our international development partners. Road works are so very expensive. And given the decadence that we find in this sector, that is the road sector, as a consequence of the many, many years of neglect, we have so many bad roads. Our national budget itself cannot absorb what it will take to be able to do all of our roads. And so the government, in partnership with development partners, have been responding to the improvement of the road network. So all the community roads in our country are being funded 100% by the government of Liberia.
Taxpayers' money.
By the taxpayers. Your taxes, my taxes, the taxes of our brothers and sisters out there. So whenever you see a community road going through your community or going through your district,
that's your own money.
Say to yourself that the taxes that are paid are at work.
All right. So again, we are listening to some video clips, and just to remember this great man. So
Welcome to this briefing, officer. Thank you so very much. We are pleased to be in your company, especially alongside the director of the Infrastructure Implementation Unit at the Ministry of Public Works, Mr. Baker. And as you know, we've come to this workshop today. The workshop, basically, which has to do with providing orientation for the bidders who have been shortlisted to participate in the procurement process for the construction, that is the pavement, of the 100 kilometers of roads between Tapeta and Ganta, which is phase 1 of the World Bank guaranteed and funded project along the government of Liberia. We are also very hopeful that after this workshop, tell all of us firmly that we are now on an irreversible course towards the pavement and the construction of that major highway which links Ganta to Tapeta in Nima County, and then subsequently between Ganta and Zwedru in the southeast. So for us, our presence here today as Minister of Public Works of the country is to reiterate the commitment of government to infrastructure development, especially roads connectivity, and to assure the World Bank of our commitment to honoring our side of the bargain, our side of the agreement. You know, the National Road Fund, which was recently established, is going to provide some of the funding for this project. And it is the National Road Fund that serves as a guarantor and a guarantee, for this project. So we've also come to let them know that the National Road Fund is on course. The National Road Fund funding that have been collected by the Liberia Revenue Authority will be uninterruptedly deposited into the account of the National Road Fund, because that will help us build your confidence. On this process, we have people who are coming also with their own resources, and they want to be assured, that from our part as a government, that we will not renege. So that's why we've come to assure them. So we are very, 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 very happy that what we see here today with the presence of the World Bank, the presence of all of those who are bidding in this process, it means that we've come a long way now, and we are now making progress. And we are hoping, like I said in there, that by the first quarter of next year, we will have signed a contract for the commencement of actual works, road works, on the Ganta Tapeta road. We are now, like the manager said in there, we are now trying to make payments to the project affected persons.
All right, so that's the great man Mobutu Nyenpan speaking to reporters. All right, so again, welcome to the Voice of Sinoe. We are remembering the fallen hero, or if you like, the development protagonist in the George Weah administration. Mobutu Nyenpan just passed yesterday in the Republic of Ghana. All right, so let's do a little reflection here. I don't know about you, but I got something, at least little thing that I know about him. Mobutu Nyenpan, ladies and gentlemen, 2005, he contested a senatorial slot in Sinoe County. And because of the message of unity that he preached to the people of Sinoe County, he was highly, highly pro-unity. And so a county that was polarized, but then it was after the war, a county that was divided basically, on tribal land because of the war that went on in Liberia. The politicians, they balkanized, they put our people into different blocks. And so after the war, Mr. Nyenpan came to the fore. He said, you know what? Our people need to be together. And so he ran on the message of unity. He ran on the message of unity, and the people in Sinoe County, all the tribes. The argument then in Sinoe County was, the crew are in the majority, and Mobutu is not a crew guy, and therefore it is impossible That was the message back then. It is impossible for Sapo men to be, Sapo who are in the minority, to be senator in the county in the midst of the majority, the crew. But the people of Sinoe County, they proved those cynics, those negative forces wrong. They said, no, you know what? The message of division that people are preaching is in the interests of the politicians. Some of them, not all of them. But we, the people, will listen to the candidates. So Mobutu's message was, after the war, the best thing that we have to do is to work together as a team to rebuild our country. So that message was preached to the people. And overwhelmingly, all the tribes in Sinoe County, they voted for Mobutu. And so those cynics, those tribalists were proven wrong. And so Mr. Mobutu served the people of Sinoe County honorably for 9 years. 9 years. He did what he could as a lawmaker, as a representative of the people of Sinoe County in Congress. He did his best. And so when it comes to funding, because during the time on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf administration, they established what they call county development funds. And so Mobutu, being somebody in the Senate, he said, I got to do my part to make sure my county get its share of the economic part. So he did his bit. And over 4 or 5 million United States dollars was sent to Sinoe County on his watch. So he did his part. I'm not here tonight to give you a holistic list of, a complete list of things that he did. I'm just giving you some of the things, okay? Now, apart from that, Honorable Mobutu Nyenpan went to work. Right now, Sinoe County, as we speak, it has a community college. Sinoe County, as we speak right now, it has community college. Mr. Nyenpan thought that, in order to have the people to contribute adequately to the development of their nation, they have to be empowered academically. And so, along together with Senator Joseph Nambe, they worked together as a team, and they sponsor a bill that led to the creation of the community college currently in Sinoe County. And so when you talk about education empowerment of the children of the people of Sinoe County, this man's name will remain indelibly interred in our memory, the people of Sinoe County. That's a great landmark. That's a great mark of a legacy that we cannot forget. To campaign for our children to get our county to have community college, so that the children will get education. Because you have to understand, the president made public institution, higher institutional learning in the country tuition free. So having a community college in Sinoe County is a blessing to our county and the population. So this is what this young man, or the great man, these are some of the things he has been working on in the county. Okay. Under his administration in Sinoe County as a senator, there was no such thing as tribalism, because the guys, they fought against that. Because he understood, but then he said, you know what? Tribalism polarized. It put our people apart, and so we cannot round our same message. And so he authored the message, and the people of Sinoe County, the various tribes in Sinoe County, they were represented in his office, in keeping with his message, a campaign message of unity. That's the man that we will not see no more, at least on planet Earth. He's out. He's gone. Did he play his part as a citizen of a country? The answer is yes. He did. He played his role. He was a student leader. He participated. He was a student leader at the University of Liberia. Those guys, they nurture other students that came after them. They tutored a lot of students how to be nationalists. And because of a nationalistic philosophy, Mr. Nyenpan, when he was in the Senate, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf used to hit the ground he walks on. Why? It's because of his stance, his political stance, his ideological stance on things, especially with the issue of corruption, with the culture of brown envelopes. He was against that. And so the president at the time, she would send these sort of bills, proposal to Congress, and Mr. Nyenpan would be one of the guys in the Senate to speak against the president's proposals. He will point out the flaws. As a representative, as a senator of the people, he did his part. And so the president, because of that, the president used to dislike him. I mean, by president, I'm talking about President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Yes. That's the man we are talking about tonight. He stood his ground. He didn't say, because you are the president, and so whatever you send here will go through. He said, no. Whatever you send here must be in the interest of the people before I affix my signature to it. That's Mobutu Nyenpan for you. That's a great man. Liberia lost a great son, a great father, a great nephew, a great nephew, a great cousin. Now, the question is that I want to ponder a little bit here is this question right here. Let me put the question out there that I want to reflect on a little bit here. Is there life after death? Or life on earth is all there is? Is there life after death? Or life on earth is all there is? Now, the question, the first part of that question is, if we think about it, something is fundamentally wrong. Is there life? If there is life after death? Now, what is death? That's the first question we'll have to answer. What is it? Well, if you ask me, death is the permanent cessation of all, or if you like, permanent cessation of existing or biological functioning of a being. Now, if you're a religious person, you will say, yes, there is life after death. But what exactly are we saying when we say this? I mean, that is a good proposition to say, there is life after death. So many of our families, so the religious people, they are giving us some sort of hope and saying, what we are seeing here is not all to it. There is something after this earth, after this life that you are living here. And so the Christian philosophy, there's something that we can seek solace, so we can see some sort of comfort in. It's possible. We cannot negate that possibility. And so the Christian proposition, because if you are, let's just say, nihilist, for example, then you will say nihilism, you will say there is what we have here is all. So that means we are not going to see this great man anymore. If we go with the philosophy of nihilism, what we see here is they say there is nothing after this life. And so the nihilists will say, I make use of what you have right now. Because what you have here, when it is gone, there is nothing else. And there is an argument to be made in that area. Because for the fact that I mean, since the if you are a biblicist or if you are Christian, since the earth was created, if you're a creationist, people have been dying. And we have not gotten a communication from people that have died. People will have some sort of personal experiences and those things. But does that justify the existence of another life after this life? So what I'm getting at is that when it comes to this life, this word, with respect to Honorable Mobutu Nyenpan, did he live effectively? Did he do his part? Although we don't know, another question we could ask is, what is the purpose of life? And that question can be discussed so many ways. What is the purpose of life? And so if you are a Christian, you will say the purpose of life is to serve God, to follow the 10 Commandments. And that's will be your definition if you are a Christian. But if you are, for example, a non-Christian, if you are an agnostic, or if you consider yourself an atheist, because an atheist is the person who says there is no God. And then the agnostic is the person who says, I don't know whether God exists or God doesn't exist. And that's the value, that's the category I find myself. I consider myself agnostic atheist because I don't know whether indeed there is a deity, there is a God that supervises everything that we do, that oversees. If you are a Christian now, because the Christian God, the Christianity says their God is still supervising the affairs of man. And so if you are a deist, the deist will say, because deism is a branch of theism. And so, but the only difference between theism and deism is that the deist will say, God created the world and he went away. He said, you know what, you are on your own, do what you can do to survive. That's a deistic perspective. Now, so if we look at it from the context of theism, and then we'll say, okay, the honorable man, we want to meet him again, and so that we can ask some of those questions that some of us that did not meet him, to asking those questions that we didn't have the opportunity to ask him. So have some like me, for example, I didn't meet Honorable Mobutu Nyenpan physically to have a conversation with him. I mean, follow his press briefings and confirmation hearings and some of that. I mean, I'll play some of the audio here tonight. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if indeed there is a God that supervises our activities, then why do people die in this manner? Why? If you read somewhere in the Christian Holy Text, it says that 10, which is 70 years. But then we have our brother who just lived for 54 years and he is gone. 54. That is on 70. But if you ask me, for the little time this man lived on planet Earth, he did his best. He did his best to change the condition of the country, to improve the living condition of the people. As a senator, like I told you, he left a footprint. He left a footprint in Sinoe County, the community college, and other bills that he sponsored, for example, to create the Namapo County district and other things that he did. But before he died, he was the Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia. And what that means is that he was in charge of both vertical and horizontal development or structure, to take care of those things, vertical and horizontal structure. So he was building the roles of our country, and that's because that's the primary objective of the we as administration. And so they tackle a lot of roles in the capital city, and they were getting out of the country on the capital city, going to the rural counties. And so I will play some of the audio so he can hear from himself some of the works that he was doing. That he just went away from us abruptly. This is abrupt. I mean, we can ask all the question: was there a foul play? We can't erase that possibility. I mean, given the country that we have right now, where, I mean, because of the level of poverty in the country, people would do anything to anybody. People would do anything to survive. So in the midst of poverty, grinding poverty, you have people doing all sorts of things just to survive. So the possibility of foul play, we can negate that, but is there an evidence to that? No, we don't have it. I mean, somebody has the evidence. I do not have it. And so I'm just saying there could be a possibility that, or maybe a health, in Africa, for some reason, we don't do what we do in the West yet. We'll do more medical checks. Maybe he has some medical issue that maybe you are not aware of, something, but for the man, I mean, he looks healthy to me. Giving the videos and the interviews, I mean, you see, he doesn't look like somebody who was sick. He looks, and abruptly, and he said the man has stroke. And now because of the stroke, we can't see him no more. And so that's the great man that we lost. Well, you can't replace a human being. Some people will say, oh, the other person dies, and the other child came. I mean, you can't replace a human being. A human being is not a toy to say, I can buy another toy to replace the other toy. No, it's not the case. We all have something unique, intrinsically built in us that another person does not have, or something that another person has that we don't have. So Mr. Our Honorable Mobutu Nyenpan brought something unique to the table, and that thing is gone. We cannot see it no more. It's gone. It's gone now. Now, the level of should I put it this way? Let me put it this way. The death rates recently in our country, the way people are dying in the country, it's not right. Something is amiss. Something is wrong somewhere for people to just mysteriously die like that. So it means that as a nation, who is led by President George Weah, we have to reassess ourselves. What is it that is going on in our country that people are dying? Government officials after government officials. Just recently, Sinoe County, we lost our lawmaker, District Number 2, Nambis Law, and the seat is now currently vacant. After Nambis Law, it was the fiscal superintendent of Sinoe County, Gift Morris. If you even go back to the seat now that Honorable Zaza occupies, it was the late Nelson Waba was in that position. He died. I mean, we can go on. So the level of death in our country is alarming. What is this going? And these are young, especially if you even look at Gift Morris, very young guy, less than 40 years. And so people are just dying in the country. There's something got to be done. If that the health system in the country is the problem, we got to put more resources into the health sector. So that, because one of the key responsibilities of a leader is to protect lives and property. So the citizens got to be protected. They are not. Children are missing right now. I mean, mostly the noise is all over the place. And this great leader, the man who was taking care of the roads, have right now in the ministerial complex, He just built that. I mean, the roles. He was committed to his work. When you see the video, the guy is 24/7. He's not one of those guys who will go sit in the office and all the time and put air conditioner on. No, he is on his feet and making sure that the work is done. Because there is a line, I cannot quote it verbatim for him. He said, development, the growth, the growth of the country is predicated on development. And so that's why you are placing high emphasis on development to build the roads in the country. So Honorable Nyenpan is gone. He's gone. Let me again play this traditional song to reflect on this great man. Let me play this song.
Chiagio. Raga, you Chiagio, Chiagio. Now, so we have more. Chiagio, Gawo. Chamayo, the Apocalican, Nanatule, Una Babule, Jowayo, Jowai, just an Narocao, Ama Blabby, do a okay. Ayaje, do what I to read. As there, oh, Jowai, I Narocao, Mao, you are the Musio. Ayao, now you are the Musio, you are the Musio. Amalabora, as you are that, he's all I know. Who have I your way? Where was I your way? Oh, no, your way. Oh, your way. To die, then I did. Yanumula, no Babule. Salabagio. Seruno, Sinobio. Ayao. Sao you bless no son oh, she's allowed to you. How, the Vitalula de you. How, I don't know, plan your tail, flanny and chini, as your poor, how they are telling. And I can say it here. Applied it. About you, you better also better no bobu. Bo she's a jawa. She's a jawa. So brabwa ni wo. Umbetia Money can bwa ni wo betia and you were no better. Gian Jabo, one Jabulio. No combatia, Mogo Playo.
And you're no more.
That said you were. How about you? How about you? The South will back over place. I will go. Our place of Yago. This of I know what's out there.
So you're not for people.
I'm on the Yamas, Hallelujah. I just saw what you saw. Was the other year. Chiango, me up a walk and a carabadio. Cajun never. That's how you back my blood to you. Don't worry that do ya. And then you are so far. More for you, Fakun, and I don't let that do ya. Or quite let that do ya more. Then more carotia. She were so Buras annual. Kaibaba annual. Come by you and get now. So Bula July come what in one. Chabo Radio. There were no Raya Chanamula. There were no Raza Chanamula. Let Chiabua, let Chiabua Chibua. There were no Raja Chanamula. Chiwe. I was telling you, Tiadia more near you. I tell you, Tiadia more near you. From the Yanu boy, Jamu Guanubia. That's why the progressive we are there, that we are there, Daniel, no, so you are going to do it. I know better, you do better.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a difficult show for me. A very difficult show for me. It's hot.
On your pie is gone.
All right, so guys, if you want to participate, if you look at the bottom of the crawler there's a number. You can call that number to participate, to reflect on the legacy of this great son of Sinoe County and Liberia at large, Mr. Mobutu Nyenpan, who passed away. To the family, I like to use the opportunity. Myself, I'm part of the family, and that's why I'm struggling tonight. Ojukwu and the rest of the family have our sympathy. May the soul of this great son of ours rest in peace in the warmth of our ancestors. Excuse me, God. Yes, it's very difficult for me. Ojukwu and myself, when he comes to the U.S., I mean, I'm always around him. I mean, how is the minister? You give me update and all of that. But right now, the brother is grieving now in Liberia. He's the only man standing right now. He's the only man. Yeah, I can relate to that very well. The same way from my mother's side, I'm the only person standing, so I know exactly how my Ojukwu is feeling right now. To be the only person. Yes. The people in Liberia will call it the last button on Joe coat. You know, it's difficult. It's difficult. All right, guys. So let me play an audio here from the honorable man so that we can listen to him. We're reflecting on his legacy. That's Honorable Mobutu Nyenpan. So let me play this interview. As a matter of fact, let me play this audio right here. It's very, very good. Let's listen to this audio right here. Let me play this audio. Give me a second here. Let me get to it quickly. So while we're doing that, let me play this one while I get to that.
Construction works. So how long this entire building process is going to last? And how much money is it going to be charged for this entire project?
Well, that's what I said, for example, that the procurement process is on, and we are hoping that by the first quarter of next year, we will have signed a contract. Once the contract is signed, then of course we can commence works. In terms of the cost of the project, what we can now say is that it will be from Ganta, the first phase, it will be from Ganta to Tapeta. It is now an opportunity for the bidders, to say from Ganta to Tapeta, we will charge this. One bidder also will charge this, the next bidder also will charge this, and on the basis of the presentations that they will make through the bidding process, we will now take the...
So all of what you are on are preparatory steps towards the actual start of the project?
Yeah, towards the actual start of the project. And actual start here will mean boots on the ground, machines on the ground. That's what you're talking about. Okay. Yes.
Right. So when are you going to satisfy the winner of this bid?
And like I said, and I'm sure Mr. Baker will provide a lot of information on this, but by the first quarter of next year, that will be the first 3 months of next year, we would have found the most responsive bidder, the most suitable bidder. And then the process, will continue with the beginning of the actual construction works.
So can we talk about the criteria laid down to meet those demands to qualify?
Well, I'm sure the manager here who will directly oversee this project will provide some explanation. But what we've come to do here today, we want you to convey this information to our people first. We've come to assure them that government is still committed to the implementation of this road project. We've come to encourage them that we must operate within the time frame that we set for ourselves. That this project will begin next year. That this project will be completed within 2 years or thereabout. And that government will make its contribution as required. And that the road fund that everybody is relying on for this project to succeed, that the road fund is firmly on course. That government It's giving them assurances that whatever they want us to do, we will do it. Because for so long, our people have suffered. And the PPP arrangement will happen, which is a public-private partnership in roadworks. It's the first of its kind in this region. And if we succeed with it in Liberia, we can now replicate it on other road corridors. So the government, and that's why I said it, His Excellency the President, is committed to this, and we are all committed to this. And we have demonstrated that commitment through actual works that you see on the ground. Where we don't have partner funding, we use government internal revenue to fund road projects, especially in our communities. You saw the Timor Bridge recently, But where the cost is so high that we now work in partnership, with the World Bank, with African Development Bank, with other partners.
All right, let me just play this one right here, and then we'll call it a night.
Members of the Joint Committee of Legislation, officials of government here present, fellow citizens, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. I have come to appear before you today in response to your invitation to participate in this public hearing relative to the financing agreement which was submitted to the legislature for ratification by His Excellency President George Manawia a little over a fortnight ago. The financing agreement referenced seeks to enable the government of Liberia to borrow an amount of $536,400,000 for the purpose of constructing 505.3 kilometers of roads with asphalt pavements in various parts of the country over a 4-year period. As Minister of Public Works, I'd like to confirm and affirm that I am a signatory to this agreement and wish to lay before you, honorable legislators, the reasons why I believe that the purpose for this loan, that is, the construction of over 500 kilometers of paved roads, is an urgent necessity which deserves the support of every well-meaning Liberian. Our country, Liberia, after 170 years of independence, is in a sad state of underdevelopment. Most of our infrastructures, especially roads, are in a deplorable state. And traveling throughout Liberia has become a nightmarish and hazardous undertaking for most of our citizens, especially those who live in rural communities. Statistics reveal that Liberia has a total road network of about 11,000 kilometers. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable legislators, it will, however, interest you to know that out of the 11,000 kilometers of roads in Liberia, we have under 1,000 of roads, under 1,000 kilometers of roads paved. Hence, about 94% of the roads in our country are unpaved. And most often than not, unpliable and accident prone, especially during the rainy season. Year in and year out, since independence, our people are subjected to extreme difficulties in the transportation of goods and services. Whether it is the Bubadi Road in Sinoe County, the Vahum Road in Lofa, the Bason Road in Grandchildren, the Broad Yellow Road in Nimba, the Brosiotown Road in Riverses, the Southtown Road in Grand Crew County, the Bella Yellow Road in Bakulu, or even the Todi Road in Mosorado County. Everywhere, throughout the length and breadth of our country, is a situation of bad roads. Honorable ladies and gentlemen, the situation of roads in our country is a threat to national security and must therefore be treated as a national emergency, which requires radical affirmative actions. Actions which we must take and take now. However, sadly, our annual budgetary allotment to roads connectivity is too meager to address the chronic nature of bad roads in our country. Equally so, the intervention in the road sector by bilateral partners is inadequate to substantively change the situation. Distinguished legislators, we cannot build our country by relying on handouts or by thinking small. As Liberians and as a government which got elected on an agenda of change, we cannot continue to do business as usual. Our people have hopelessly waited for far too long. There must be a paradigm shift. Our President, His Excellency George Manawia, has therefore made roads connectivity as the first and foremost priority of his administration, as a means of actualizing the pro-poor agenda. I therefore come today to urge you to support the President in this lofty endeavor. Dear legislators, on the average, it has taken our country, Liberia, 170 years to pave 850 kilometers of roads in our network. If we are to continue with this trend, in the pavement of our roads, it will take us as a country over 2,000 years to pave the 11,000 kilometers of roads in our network. This is our story as a country. Yet still, we boast of being a country rich in mineral deposits and fertile soil. But what do we have to show for the wealth of our country? As leaders, your constituencies rely on you to change their story. The financing agreement before you for consideration presents a unique opportunity for us to change the status quo. We must not disappoint our people. When you ratify this agreement, the road from Ikena in Great House to Sesto City in Riverses County will be paved. When you ratify this agreement, the road from Sesto to Greenville in Sinoe County will be paved. The road from Greenville to Backleville in Grand Crew County will be paved. The road from Backleville to Southtown will be paved. The road from Barclayville to Plebo in Maryland County will be paved. The road from Medina to Ramos Coast in Grand Cape County will be paved. And of course, the road from Toggenburg in Bomi County to Bopolu in Bakwelu County will be paved. The local economies in your constituencies will be stimulated. Our people will have employment opportunities. In addition, and as part of social corporate responsibility, many stadiums will be built in 7 counties, and a vocational school will be built in Greenville, Sinoe County. Honorable legislators, the benefits of the financing agreement before you, as analyzed above, far surpass petty considerations and unbending adherence to state procedures. When you ratify this agreement, it becomes law. A law that will enhance rapid development in our country. The Ministry of Public Works, which we represent, likes to assure you, our leaders, that all of the technical requirements and processes, feasibility studies, preliminary designs, etc., have been done up to this point. There are available technical reports in-house on this subject matter. Besides, the loan agreement expressly designates and delegates to the Ministry of Public Works the authority to vet the construction companies which shall form a part of the consortium to execute the works. In other words, the agreement does not impose any particular company, Chinese or Liberian, to implement the project. In the next few weeks, the Ministry of Public Works shall, consistent with best practice, select an engineering consultant who, along with the ministry, will spearhead the selection of companies based on objective analysis to form a part of the consortium that will be responsible to implement the project. For the first time in the history of our country, this agreement specifically sets aside a direct role to be played by Liberian construction companies. In this way, we will build the capacity of local construction companies and make them direct participants in the economy of our country. At this juncture, honorable ladies and gentlemen, I humbly submit to you to ratify the financing agreement before you. You have absolutely nothing to lose by such action. Liberia has nothing to lose by such action. This will not be the first time that Liberia will be borrowing. But I can say to you that this will certainly be the first time that we will have something substantively tangible to show for our borrowing. No nation is an island. We each depend on the other, and vice versa. The greatest nation on earth has a debt obligation. Let us proceed with fortitude, think big, and build our country. At this juncture, honorable ladies and gentlemen of the legislature, I'd like you to kindly focus on the golden two rods and see where we are as a country. so that we have an understanding of why we need this room.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that you are listening to the voice of the late Mobutu Nyenpan, Minister of Public Works of the Republic of Liberia. He was making a case before the lawmakers of Congress, if you like, to rectify a law for our roads to be tackled. You know, so that was the great man that we cannot see anymore. All right. So some of the lines I took from he said something. He said, "Think big." Yes, we have to think big. And politically, we are the oldest country in Africa. The first country to gain her political independence in 1847. And so we have to think big. And that's what the late Honorable Senator Mobutu Nyenpan said. And he said, we must not disappoint our people. Yes, we must not disappoint our people. He was committed to the construction of the roads in the country so that our people will not be traveling on roads that are basically death traps. So he said, we should not disappoint our people. He said the condition of the roads need radical affirmative actions. That's why he said we need that in the country. The roads are you can consider it to be the vital sign of any nation. We have better roads in the country. It activates commerce. Commercial activity will go freely around. This is why you are committed to. This is why you are doing. But he is gone now. You were talking about building vocational school in Sinoe County, the same way they fought to get a community college in Sinoe County. That is it. Life is transitory. Life is brief. We are here. I saw one of my friends. He said, "Oh, why am I listening to you? You're atheist. Why am I listening to you?" This is not about atheism. This is not about theism. I mean, if you want to make the argument, then it goes to why would somebody die if your deity is supervising, is looking, over everybody else, and you are saying, "Oh, why should I listen to you because you are atheist?" I don't believe in the God that will sit by for innocent people to die. No. I would not celebrate such a God. We can ask God right now, why did Mobutu have to die? Why? He is omnipotent. He is omniscient. All the big words. So when you say omniscient, that is, he knows everything. When he is omnipotent, he is all powerful. But then another attribute, they say God is omnibenevolent. He loves everybody. So if he loves everybody, he knows everything, he's all powerful, why do innocent people die? That's a fundamental philosophical question that my friend was making the atheistic argument. "Oh, you're atheist. Why should I listen to you?" That's a question you have to grapple with. Why do innocent people die? What was the offense of Mobutu Nyenpan? What did he do that he had to die at age 54? Even though the biblical God said 70 years, 10. It's the God contradicting himself. He's not consistent. No, so my friend should not go that route. Because, then you put your God in a quandary, in a moral quandary. Why babies die? Why good people die? That's a question that Christians are grappling with. And that's a question myself I consider myself agnostic atheist. I don't know that there is a God or there is a God. Why do I call myself atheist? Because I don't believe in the God in the Bible, in the Quran, in the different religious texts. Because when I read, especially the Bible, the biblical God, he instructs people to murder people. But then they say he's the good man. And so if you believe in this kind of God, then we can make sense of why innocent people die. Because in the Bible, the God allowed, he gives command for his people to murder innocent people. Maybe that's what's happening right now. He's standing by. And this man who had pretty good heart for his people, for his country, he has been extinguished. He has been extinguished without a crime. Even if he commits a crime, our Lord requires a due process. You got to have a lawyer to represent you. But nothing, he's gone. And also when people say, oh, God knows, God cares, sometimes it pisses me off. Yes. Why do we have the caring being and then people are dying of starvation, no food, diseases killing people? Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, my heart is broken. We have a God that looks after us, but then people die tragically. Yes. And so I'm on the fence until somebody can prove. Maybe there is a God that lives, that exists, but then it could be a bad God, and that's why bad things are happening. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. But you cannot say a good God exists. The purpose of a good man is to get rid of bad things. And so the people are saying bad things are happening in the world, and there is a good God that supervises everything, but then people are dying. Innocent people are dying. That is it. That's it. That's the trouble we face with. That's it. That's what we call theodicy. Yeah, God justice, we can't understand him. Yeah, so innocent people die. And they say, well, you can't ask God. Why not? People are grieving. They want answers to valid question. It's a valid question to say, why this man had to die? It's a valid question. And they say, but don't ask God. Yes, we have to ask God a question. He has to explain to us if and only if he exists. And that's why I'm not too sure. I'm not saying he doesn't exist. If one exists, the only proposition I will agree with, if there is a God that exists, then he's a bad man or woman. That's the kind of God that exists. The man who created, according to the Bible, and said, let there be light. And you cannot say, a man that has stroke and say, recover. And we will have to bury the man. And then pastors will go there and pray. And then that man will be interred, you'll be buried. So I don't understand these things. So my philosophy is not to appeal to a higher power. My philosophy is, if somebody is in need of help, I should help if I can. I don't need a deity to tell me that. I don't have to ask for some supreme being to do good to another person, to not harm another person. And that's what I believe. Will that be good to each other? I do so. The great man, Mobutu, he did his part. He was nice to people. He employed a lot of people. He sponsored a lot of children to seek higher education. He did his part. And that's what I believe in. If you are in authority, if you have the economic power to assist another man, do so. And that's what he did. And that's why he committed his life to. And that's why he made sure that the people of Sinoe County have community college. Then he made sure that the money that was given to him as Minister of Public Works, he built the people roads, constructed a ministerial complex, and we can go on and on. He was a great man. He did his part. He did his part to make the people happy. to change the lives of the people. And that's what I believe. So, great man, may your soul rest in peace. Greet our ancestors on my behalf. Say hello to your dear, your benevolent father, the late Honorable Nyenpan, or they call him Tony. May his soul rest in peace. Greet my siblings that were killed during the war in Liberia, for which I'm the only child from my mother's side. Greet my brothers. Greet them. Greet my extended families that went before you. Oh, Honorable Nyenpan, extend my greetings to the 250,000 innocent Liberians that were killed during the war. Extend my greetings to them. If at all there is life after this one. If there's life after this one, you do your part to change the human condition. And we'll miss you for that. You did your part to keep your people united, the people of Sinoe County. We'll remember you for that. You put food on the table for the hungry. You send people to school that cannot afford. You put roof over the heads of people. You did your part, sir. You will be remembered. The nation will remember you. Your county will remember you. Your family will remember you. And even strangers will remember you. You can't do everything, but you did something, or you did some things that will forever remain in our minds. May your soul rest in peace. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you for the night. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Maybe you cannot remember something about Ojukwu. I mean, not Ojukwu, but Mobutu. That's why he did not call. But I know it's hard for all of us. You know, people are grieving right now to even speak on the global platform. It's hard. I mean, I understand. All right, so that's how we're doing it for the night. May the soul of this great man, our son, our father, our brother, our nephew, may his soul rest in perpetual peace. Not in the armpit of the biblical God or the God that supervises the word. No. With our ancestors. I believe in our ancestors. Not the God that supervises the world. He does nothing when innocent people are dying. The one that people jubilate, they pray to every Sunday. But then people go to bed hungry. And they say he sent manna from heaven back in the dead. And innocent people are dying. Yes, and waiting for judgment day before he takes action. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, have a pleasant night. We just played this audio here. The video last couple of one video for us, a couple of video for the honorable man. Play this the video for you, and then we'll call it a night. I really appreciate you joining me.
Facilities.
Right.
Back roads will make it difficult for us to transport our produce from farm to market. Back roads will even make it difficult under some circumstances for students to be able to access the schools. So you see, this is the kind of situation we have. So what we've inherited as a country at this particular junction is a road network that has been developed as serious problems. Even where we say the roads are paved, they are challenged. And this is not just in Montserrat County, this is not just in Monrovia, but this is across the country, from county to county, from community to community. Our people will talk about bad roads.
So tell us what
and
the government...
The status is precarious. The status of the road network of our country is precarious. So it now moves on to the next step.
Right.
You know, because this government was elected on the basis of change. That yes, once elected, we will institute change. And not just change in terms of the faces that occupy positions,
correct.
Not just change in terms of the nomenclature of the ruling party, but substantive change that will positively impact, the well-being of our people. And so, if we say the status of the road network is troublesome, if we say the status of the road network is problematic, the next question will now be, what is it that we are doing
right
to address the situation? What is it that we are doing to redress the situation, in fact?
And we're gonna walk you one by one for our viewers. Okay. Before my colleague comes in, what has the government, this current government, what has it done? And I don't want to be like, okay, I inherit, the past government and so forth. Tell me what you're doing, because now your honeymoon is over. Someone watching will be like, okay, my man, you've been in power now for 3 years. What has this government done to alleviate some of these challenges you just talked about?
And so in the very beginning, because of the status of the road network, Mr. President, upon his election, made a commitment that, look, roads connectivity, infrastructure development is going to be the hallmark of my administration.
Correct.
We will connect our communities. We will pave our community roads. We will pave our secondary roads. We will pave our primary roads. We will connect our counties. This is the agenda of the infrastructure development of our country. So, what have we been able to do?
Probably to Chiago, the Yanni of Lucian, where are you? I'm okay, we are your way. What was that? So you are right now, Jansen, Yana Yamuda, Yadana Yellow, Yikawo, Roseo, she has some Pia now. Sabaman July. Jabao, Basa Yamulegia. Asabanio, Chianwao, Yato, Quania Sabao, Sabao, and a Pitu Wario. Pitu Wario, Namu Wayo. Pitu Wario, Wayo. Apuayo, Lana Vigileo. Ọba Muroko ayo, Ọba Kayo, Ọba Kobele Odenyuwa diwe. Denyuwa desi anywa na nkanwo, na nkunyo. Apuwale, brother Vijale. Naye, anase for ayo da janulo sayo. Anje bubula o. Anje bubula o. Kalale you know, Jale Doble. No, the Dunia Blue, no, you put it up. No way about Mumba. Apoye yo. So you are not you. About Chiango, Apoye Yayo, Amanda yo, Adiana yo.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Have a good night. David, go for me.